Okay, so a year ago, I made a decision to click a button that would pretty much change my life as I knew it. I know it sounds really dramatic, but yeah, that button that I clicked was the upload button on YouTube. And this week, I officially hit my 1-year anniversary from posting my first ever video on YouTube. And saying that out loud is pretty surreal, because I feel like I just started and I'm still so raw to this whole thing. But at the same time, it's been a full year. A full year of lessons, a full year of mistakes, of learning, and just understanding the process of it all. And yeah, I don't know. Somehow I managed to gain 10,000 subscribers in this first year, which is insane for me to process. Like, I'm just thinking about sitting in a room with over 10,000 people listening to me and actually caring and internalizing what I have to say, and just sharing my thoughts and creating and sharing art with them. And that's just really cool, and I'm so appreciative and thankful for each and every one of you guys. Like, I look through these comments and read everything, and it really makes my day. But yeah, this video is just gonna be about everything I've learned in the past year, and my thoughts and reflections on what it's been like being a creator on the platform. I used to want to be a YouTuber for so long, right? Like, as a middle schooler, as a high schooler, but it took me so much courage and like time to actually press that button and make that first video. And now we're here a year later, over 10,000 subs, and it feels like I'm actually living out my middle school self's dreams of being, I wouldn't call myself a YouTuber yet, but of being a creator and posting on YouTube. But yeah, this video is just gonna be me talking about the experience and everything I think about it. Yeah, and give you a little insight to what goes on behind the lens and behind the camera. So yeah, let me take you. So, like I mentioned before, I had been thinking about starting a channel for years before I ever posted my first video. And that's not even an exaggeration. I remember thinking about making videos my freshman year of high school. And I ended up making videos my senior year of college. So it was a long time thinking about it and not really doing anything to make my idea a reality. And I don't know why it took me so long to actually create that first video. I had placed this immense amount of pressure on myself for this first video. I remember telling myself, like, it had to be perfect in every aspect. It had to be a great idea, perfect execution, perfect editing. It had to be a masterpiece. And looking back on it now, after a year of actually creating, that's ridiculous, right? That's like going up to a piano and never playing it before and expecting to play a masterpiece the first time you ever lay your finger on a key. You have to have some expectations going into it. And I think as I matured and grew up, I started to realize this. And the first video should be just putting something out there. Just because you don't know yourself yet, right? When you're creating, you kind of find your voice as you create. It's not something that you know before you do it, if that makes sense, you know? All right, and so once I took that first step and created my first video, it's kind of a different story now, right? It's real and it's tangible and it's something you've actually created and you can improve on for the next step. And I think every creator goes through this when they first start out. They ask themselves this question. They ask themselves, why am I doing this? And for me, that was a pretty simple question with a straightforward answer. It's because I wanted to create something that would last for a long time and that I could look back on and see at every point in my life, like how I'm growing and where exactly my thoughts were. And that was the original intent. Like alongside that, obviously, is also a creative outlet that like lets me also speak and create creatively, right? Without it being attached to something else. Use it as a hobby. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're starting off creation in general, will have this idea of getting popular or rich like quick, like right off the bat. They're doing it for fame or for clout or for money. And honestly, if you're going in for that reason right at the beginning, your whole logic is flawed, because the money is not gonna come for a while. And if you don't actually enjoy what you're doing when you turn on the camera, then you're just putting yourself through something miserable, like just chasing something, you know? What I've learned through this whole year of making videos is that you really gotta fall in love with the journey and the process of creating. The little steps that you take to create something full scale, and something that you can actually be proud of when you're sharing it with your friends or having it shown to complete strangers on the internet. I think my advice to people just starting out is to not focus on niches or like trying to gain an audience, but to make something that you are truly passionate about making and sharing and creating. Because in the end, I feel like you'll gain a following just for being excited and authentic about what is truly exciting for you. And then that way you start gaining traction, and it's not really a game that you're playing, it's just you having fun and happening to record it at the same time. I think a big part of what I learned through this first year is that what attracts a following is just being authentic and sharing your thoughts, right? I know there were a couple times when I would make videos and kind of get caught up in like what will get people to click, what will get people to engage, and that's not the way about going about it, because in the end it just makes the process way more stressful and way more pressure on yourself, when it should be something that you're doing for fun and as a hobby. So that's advice for anyone who's just starting out. And then going with that, I think another question you have to ask yourself is, would I enjoy what I'm putting out, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not even enjoying the content that you're creating, then who the hell is gonna care about it? If like the person who's making it doesn't care, then why would anyone else, when any other stranger, give a shit about what you're creating? Just make stuff that you honestly are proud of, that you would enjoy, and that you can't wait to watch yourself once it's uploaded. Because this may sound narcissistic, but I always rewatch my videos when I create them, because I just think it's enjoyable content that is made, and that at the end of the day is like, if you're not enjoying what you're making, then how can you expect other people to enjoy what you're making? Yeah. I think one of the main things you start to realize when you're making YouTube videos is that it is not an easy job, or at least not as easy as it may sound, right? Like initially when I was gonna start my channel, I was like, okay, all I have to do is sit in front of a camera, have an interesting idea for a video, and press record and then upload, and that's it. But it's a lot more than that. Like YouTube is one of those things that is always on your mind. Like, it never really leaves, especially if it's something you care about, right? Like, YouTube was something that I was trying to take seriously for this whole entire like past year. And so whenever I was not doing anything, like just like sitting down, I would feel guilty about not being productive for making the next video, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, but it's something that really sticks with you. Like, constantly when you're walking around, I was always thinking of the next and greatest like video idea. And I think a lot of people don't realize that if you were trying to make YouTube your full-time job, I think a lot of people think it's like an easy way and like an easy thing to do. But in reality, it's something that you're always constantly thinking about, like trying to churn out ideas, interesting ideas, and things that you think people will enjoy, but also you will enjoy in the process of making these types of videos. Another thing that started to happen to me was that like the way that my brain was consuming content was changing as well. Because once you become a creator, then the way that you consume content is not through the lens of a consumer anymore, it's through the lens of the creator. You're kind of analyzing what strategies people are using in their videos, like how they're making engaging content, and like how you can not copy, but like emulate some of their ideas that like you enjoyed and found as an effective way to like make a video. And then you kind of look at social media, or like I guess YouTube videos, as through a different lens, which is both a cool thing but also kind of annoying when you're just trying to like relax and watch a video. You kind of just get in this like super analytical way of thinking, so that you can improve your own craft, right? Because now that you started making videos, these aren't just random creators, but they're your peers on YouTube, right? The way you watch YouTube changes, and also the way you view creators changes, because you realize just how much work it takes to create a final product. Yeah, and going off of that, I don't know about you guys, but I am a massive procrastinator. Like, if there's a way that I can push off something until the very last minute, I will do it. And something I realized as a creator for a year is that having that mindset will not cut it. Because when you first start out on YouTube, there's really nothing to keep you accountable for making videos. Like, there's no real external deadlines, and especially at the beginning, you don't really have a pressure to upload more because you don't really have a big following when you first start out. So you really gotta rely on yourself and depend on yourself to find that accountability, find that routine and that upload schedule. And even a year after making videos, I'm still trying to find that consistency. But that's a big part of it. Like, it's finding that consistency in yourself, and putting that expectation on yourself without having an external pressure. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is something you're doing because you find fun and because you have a passion for it. So you can't really expect other people to make you create, right? I think a really big part of that as well is to not obsess over YouTube. Like with anything in life, it's like you're allowed to get really into it. You're allowed to get super deep and passionate about it. You're allowed to study and measure, but you cannot obsess. Then it becomes a problem. If you get too bogged down in like the analytics or like how many views and comments and likes you're getting, then it just becomes a toxic cycle. So I have tried to put less and less pressure on how well videos perform and more focus and energy into just creating something that I can be proud of at the end of the day. And if it happens to perform well, then that's an added bonus to it. But for now, I'm just kind of enjoying the process of creating and trying to just create a better video than last. And that's the philosophy. So yeah, it's been a really cool experience this first year. I mean, 10,000 subscribers is just insane. So
thank you guys so much for like giving me like this platform in the first place. It's been really cool. And full disclaimer, I just started my first full-time job last week. So speaking about finding that time to be consistent, it's like another curveball thrown into it. But it's just been a cool experience this whole time. And I intend to keep making videos as long as I can into the future, because it is something really I genuinely enjoy doing, and it's a cool way to keep myself creative and to keep myself thinking, you know, and being human and having passion, right? It's a cool side project. So yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, feel free to drop anything in the comments. I read everything, by the way. They always make my day. But yeah, it's been real. And here's to another year on YouTube. Thanks, guys.